Last week, Steve said to me, like, oh, I think I'm going to send these glasses back because I don't think they're doing anything. And I said, okay, can we just try it? And that was the day I had him walk back and forth and I filmed it. I said, because I think they're doing something, but I think maybe what happens is you can't feel it. Steve isn't so bad with his Parkinson's that, like he can't walk without the glasses, right? So it's like, it's a different grade of change that's happening. But when I took the videos and he looked at it, and even he said, wow, that's actually a really big difference. Surprised that when he visualized the yellow line as opposed to having the glasses on, he could see that it wasn't quite as good. And I would say, so there's a couple of things we've noticed. One is the posture thing you had said. That is by far the most obvious and significant one.
Really spectacular.
I mean, it's spectacular. Like even I've tried it first thing in the morning, which I can't. I'd love to film him first thing in the morning, but he sleeps with no clothes on, so that doesn't really work. It's tricky, that one. But the mornings that I've said, ooh, stick these on, and I just walked up and I stick them on him, he immediately like comes all the way up out of like Gollum. And even though he's still sort of, he's still slow, because his Parkinson's his McKenna hasn't kicked in. He's significantly less dizzy and off balance, and you walk much better in the mornings when I do that. So I'm trying to remember to have it right by his meds so he can stick them straight on. So the other significant one that I noticed, it was less significant for Steve. And my experience of a lot of people with Parkinson's is they have a stronger memory of how they were before Parkinson's than they do of themselves with Parkinson's. It was hugely significant for me, but he was just like, well, I don't see what the problem is. Was I had him take him to the grocery store. Now, in the grocery store, normally, I mean, even if he's fully on, he's got his stick, he sticks very close to me. And like, if he needs to find something, like let's say I say, could you go get a jar of pasta sauce off the shelf? He sticks quite close to me and he often can't find it. Like he'll be there trying to find it, but it will take him 10 times longer than it would take me, right? And if there's a lot of people in the store, he can't walk away from me at all. Like he'll start to freeze a bit, and even if he's on. So crowded stores, no go. We had to go into the grocery store on Saturday morning, which is, as you can imagine, ram-packed. There were loads of people, and particularly lots of what he considers to be very dodgy and dangerous people. So little kids, parents paying attention to the little kids, not paying attention to where they're going, and whacking him with carts and stepping in front of him and all that kind of stuff. So we went into the store, and I was surprised that because my back was hurting, he said, oh, I'll go get the cart. And I thought, this is interesting. So he went over and got one of the baskets and brought it to me. It was a bit difficult to get to me because he had his stick and the basket, and he was trying to maneuver both, but managed to get both to me, even though there were people walking past him the whole time, which normally when somebody goes to pass him, he stops dead and freezes. So I thought, this is interesting. Brought me the cart. I was pushing the cart. He had his stick. And he proceeded to walk straight past me and then he said, oh, I have to go to the loo. So he went to the loo. I went and started shopping, but usually I have to go find him because he gets sort of stuck coming out of the loo. He actually was in and out of the loo easily 50% faster than he normally is. Shocked when he suddenly walked up to me. I was like, I said, couldn't you get to the loo? And he said, no, I've been. And so we carried on walking. And then he said, oh, I need to get pate or something. And he walked away from me and went down the aisle, went and got the pate, walked back to me. There are people milling everywhere. There was something down the aisle he said he needed. And he walked past me down to go down the aisle, got the thing he needed, turned around and came back. And as he was coming back, a guy between us stepped straight out in front of him. And he literally just went like that, like around the guy, like automatically went around the guy and kept carrying on. And like my mouth dropped open and I said, that was what you just did. Okay. So, and I said to him, you need to be aware. You just went around that guy and didn't hesitate in the slightest and just sidestepped him and came. And he said, well, I'm on. I said, yeah, you've been on in the store loads of times. You've never done that. and wasn't panicking. And normally he's really anxious in the store if there's a lot of people around. And he wasn't complaining about any anxiety at all. And several times went off on his own to get stuff and came back to me, which just doesn't happen. But he didn't recognize that anything was different.
Because it felt like normal to me, because that's how I've been for like 50 years. Because I use Mucuna instead of the normal med. I take a dose. It takes an hour to come on. But if you're taking it around food, that slows it down. It makes it less effective. There's often a point in the middle of the day when I've had some lunch and time for another Mucuna, and I start to sit around waiting for it to come on. And when it does come on, it's not like a switch. It sort of stutters on and off a bit. So sometimes we've got a really big room that we live in. So sometimes I'll set up across the room, and if my Mucuna is just coming on, sometimes find that I'm not as mobile as I thought I was going to be. So I have to sort of hold on to tables and chairs as I'm going across. And a couple of times I've tried putting the glasses on, and it's really helpful in that situation.
Yeah. So one of the things he's found is that in-between zone of meds, the glasses are super helpful for keeping him safe during that time and allowing him to have safe mobility during that time.